Now let's just start the chapter with the topic heights and distances. So for an instance, if I'm talking about this minar and there is a student who is actually looking at the top of this minar. But before that, let us suppose if I'm taking the height of the student with respect to the minar as nothing but BD, and since I'm saying that the observer or this particular student is actually looking at the top of this minar, so let us suppose if I'm joining his sight or from his eye to the top of this minar as nothing but this particular line segment, which is AC. So as you can see, the observer or the student is actually looking at the minar. So we have joined this AC from his eye to the top of the minar. This particular line that we have joined AC is nothing but called as a very special line, which is line of sight. This is called as the line of the sight from the eye of the observer to the top of the minar over here. And moreover, the line of the sight which is making a particular angle with the horizontal line, we are talking about this particular angle. The line of the sight is actually making this particular angle with a horizontal line AB, and this angle is called as nothing but the angle of elevation. The angle of elevation, which is really very important concept of this particular chapter. This angle which is formed over here is nothing but called as the angle of elevation. So let us suppose if I'll remove the minar and if I'll remove the student from here, then we actually get the figure like this, in which we have ACB particular right angle triangle, because obviously the height of the Qutub Minar with respect to the horizontal ground is definitely in 90-degree angle with the ground. So let us suppose if we were just talking about this AC, and this AC was actually the line of sight, and the angle which is formed over here is nothing but called as the angle of elevation, that is actually made with the horizontal line, So here what we are getting a very special important angle which is called as the angle of elevation, because using this angle of elevation we will now further sort out the questions that are related with the heights and distances. Now further, let us suppose if I'm talking about the important concepts, the line of the sight is actually the line which is drawn from the eye of an observer, like we did in the very first example, from the eye of the observer to the point of the object viewed by the observer. So since if we have taken the previous example in which the student were actually looking at the top of the minar, so the line segment which is joining from his eye to the top of the minar is actually called as nothing but the line of sight. So always remember what is the line of sight. Now let's just talk about the other fact which is related to this concept, the angle of elevation. The angle of elevation of the point viewed in the angle which is formed by the line of the sight with the horizontal when the point being viewed is above the horizontal line. So this is a very important concept, that the angle of elevation is always made with the line of the sight and with the horizontal line, but always remember that the point which is viewed by the observer is always above the horizontal line. So what does it mean? Let us suppose if I'm taking this particular concept over here, and this is the student, and he's actually viewing this particular object over here. So as you can see, this object is actually above the horizontal level. Then the angle so formed between the line of sight and the horizontal level is nothing but called as the angle of elevation. So this is actually the whole figure format which is formed, which is related with the angle of elevation. So always remember the angle of elevation of any particular point or for any particular angle. It is formed always in between the line of sight and the horizontal level, but it is made in such a manner that the point being viewed by the observer is always above the horizontal line. So this is all about the angle of elevation. Now let's just move on further and talk about the another type of important angle.